Hi, I'm Pat Fiume. I've been a realtor for over 30 years. I'm a host of the American Dream Show. Welcome to my show, Is This for Real Estate?
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tori if you guys are new here. And today we're going to be talking content.
Welcome back. I'm here with Tori Zizzamia of Trending with Tori. She's a social influencer and media consultant. Thank you so much for being with us on Is This for Real Estate?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So what can you tell me how this would translate, I guess, with real estate and business in general, what you do?
Yeah, so I started my personal brand, Trending with Tori, back in 2015. I started a YouTube channel alongside of going to college. I did that as like a passion project, and I did it consistently for like every single week for a few years, and I built up my following, and that kind of kickstarted me to my career in social, which I kind of have been doing for several years, and then started a business, and then now I'm doing this. I work in social media full time, and then I also help entrepreneurs on the side with their social media as well. So it's been really cool. So like I can work with realtors to kind of help them promote their business on social. Honestly, any entrepreneur really is who I work with.
So what exactly do you do?
So I do social media content creation. So like trendy Instagram reels, TikTok videos, photography, and I also do social media management.
Right on the set, and we're rolling.
So kind of like a combination of the two, content creation and management.
So how did you get into this aspect of it?
I think how I got into it was really just kind of working in social media. Like I said, I used to have my own online clothing company in 2019. I did that for a little bit, and so I've always been very passionate about small business, and that's kind of what led me to do the social media for small business owners, because I have a passion for that. But then I also naturally work in social media, and that's kind of like my talent. So I just combined the two, and that's really why I got started doing it. Yeah. Right now in today's world, like the digital landscape is such a big thing. And if you're not really on it, you're missing a whole segment of customers that you could be reaching. So I help them with a lot of organic content creation and social media strategy. So not having to put like money behind it, but just kind of utilizing these apps and these platforms to kind of, really gain traction for their business and reach a new audience that way. So kind of like capitalizing on some of these like algorithm tips and tricks, like on Instagram Reels, how you can reach more people.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so because I know like what it's like when I had my own business, like you don't have all this extra money to throw into ads. So really any kind of
you use the free stuff to your advantage.
Any kind of tips and tricks that you can do to kind of get your name out there is really, really cool. So I like that you did that, like kind of go into the small businesses, and there's tons in the community that you can help, and it's awesome.
And it's amazing how many small businesses there really are out there. Like you don't realize how many there are until you start looking at it, especially these little downtowns. Like my next show I'm doing is going to be in Collingswood, and I did Merchantville. Like all these shop owners are so excited to be on TV. Like when my Merchantville show aired, I had so many people calling me, emailing me, messaging me. Like it was insane. Like probably 20 shop owners. Can I get on TV? And I'm like, well, I already did my Merchantville segment, but and I was talking to Bill, my editor, about it, and we're like, so many Merchantville shop owners want to get on. We decided to do a walking tour of Merchantville stores. Yeah. And maybe some of the little restaurants, not the bigger ones, but just get some of the little food places in there. Right. And it's really snowballed a lot of people that they, their business a little bit, they said, from having me even be there. It's everything helps.
Everything helps.
It's all percentages, just like real estate, you do a show, you do mailings, you do this, you do that. It's like, and it's like that with any business. Yeah. It's a percentage of something, I guess, works.
Yeah, totally. And it is really about being like consistent and showing up online and, building your brand that way, which, that's like a lot of work for some people. I mean, you know how it is. You're doing it now,
I have no idea how to even do it.
It takes so much time and effort. And so like, that's another reason why I started it, because like I feel for these business owners, because they started their business out of a passion, right? Like
exactly.
They didn't necessarily want to do social media, but it's essential for them to really grow their business.
And that's why people like you who are good at it do that and need to reach people like these small mom and pop stores and things like that, because they do need help. I'm seeing the reaction I've had from the small places I've done. They really need exposure, these small mom and pops, and I think it's a wonderful thing to do, you know, because they don't know how to do this stuff, or they don't have time. I mean, there are some of them that were very good. I noticed, like, we were getting ready to look at some stores where I'm going to go when I do my Merchantville, and I'm thinking there was a couple of them that are on there all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and the other ones, they're not there, or they're there once, maybe every 2 years, you know.
Yeah.
You need to be consistent. You need to be dependably good.
That's another thing that I can do is just kind of create content for you. I give it to you, you post it yourself. But then I have another client, the Superfood Alchemist, and he is like a holistic activist, and he doesn't want to do anything related to social media. Has no idea how.
That was me about 4 years ago.
Yeah, and so like that's
way
different.
am I getting on TV.
Exactly. So there's definitely like a broad range of clients that I have too. Like some definitely have their hand in social, and some don't, which is totally fine.
So what area do you work primarily? This general area, South Jersey?
Yeah, South Jersey is primarily where I work with. However, I do have a potential client that I'll be working with who's located in San Diego. So what's really cool about social media is that, you don't have to be, in the same area to really work together on that, because it is such a digital thing. So I'm going to be working with her on like social media management, which is really cool. So we'll be on different time zones, but we'll still be able to connect and make it work.
So if somebody wants to get hold of you, how do they get hold of you?
You can find me at trendingwithtori.com, which is my personal website, and I have all of my information on there for social media management. But also my social handles, again, Trending with Tori. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
For dumb people like me, what actually is an influencer? I always hear this word, but I'm not exactly sure what it is.
I guess like an influencer is somebody who just builds their own community. Like that's how I would look at it.
People watch what they do, and like trends.
People feel inspired by you. Like I would like to consider myself like inspirational. I know that might sound a little I don't know, like crazy, but I think it's true. Like I think people do sometimes look to me for advice or for inspiration. So I think that's what an influencer really is. And
maybe I'm an influencer.
You are. I think you are. You are an influencer. People look to you.
It's funny because I've had so many people come up to me since I started doing this. More than as much as I was getting people coming up to me from the show, this has brought a lot of people to me. Just people who like heard my story, how I got started. Like they're telling me their stories. Like agents that I would never think, and these are realtors who I would never think what they've been through are telling me their stories.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And how I am like, just hearing my story gave them hope and inspiration. They're doing better. Yeah. It's making them feel better about their situation.
Yeah.
And that if I could make it with how I started, anybody can make it.
Yeah. So see, you are an influencer. You don't know it, but you are. I think everybody kind of is, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
I kind of like really preach like that I do my side hustle with my 9 to 5, and I think that kind of inspires people that you can still do other things outside of your day job. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool.
So I always have every guest tell a funny story, or maybe a not so funny story, but something that everybody's got that story they tell at a party. When you're just in conversation. Do you have anything funny that you can think of? I know I always put people on the spot with that.
I gotta think. I feel like from being like on social media, I have tons of different stories, but I went to my first networking event, which was like really like pushing myself out of the box.
Wow.
When you film at home, like you're used to just talking to yourself, the camera, like you're not used to talking to a whole bunch of people, right? So I went to this event in New York City, and I brought my cousin with me. It was for Charming Charlie. I don't know if you're familiar.
I remember
with
them. Yeah.
It was a jewelry company, but
we went to
them. Yeah, it was really cool. We went to this event. We met a bunch of influencers, and I was like so like timid. I didn't really want to go up to the CEO and like the president of the company, but he was there, and I was like, I guess I gotta do it. So I went over to him, but I felt like I was so frazzled because I was just like so embarrassed.
I know, like you're like
shy, but I did go up to him, so I guess that's kind of funny.
That's kind of how I got.
It was like really funny to just kind of like put yourself out there for once, but it was probably super awkward, but I did it anyway.
I can relate to that because when I was new, my very first listing, believe it or not, was $1 million listing, and we were at the Board of Realtors meeting, and another agent helped me because I didn't have any money at the time. You know, I was a single mom with 4 kids. And Ron Jaworski was the guest speaker at the Board of Realtors where I got sworn in when I first started.
Yeah.
And she's like, you talk to them. No, you talk to them, you know. And she like pushed me up there and I'm like, hi.
That's kind of how I was. It was kind of just like that. My cousin's like, you got when you come all this way, New York for you not do it.
Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was super awkward, but I still did
I
it.
felt like it was this big. I'm like, oh.
But then if you don't do it, then you would regret it. So
Exactly.
You know what? I'm glad I did it.
Well, the
It
funny
was
thing
cool.
that came out of that is he did refer me a buyer, his sister, at one time. And then I was back years ago, Copperfield, when they were still in business, a restaurant in 73. We had to go into a meeting. We used to have these rallies with our office, and we all went to Copperfield, all the single people, and I was divorced at the time. We used to go, you know, you could dance and stuff. And right ahead of us, all the Eagles walked in.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and I saw, and I just didn't say nothing. And somebody, he held the door open, and as all our office went by, he goes, well, hello, Miss Fiume. I'm like, oh, like, hi. And I ran in the bathroom and hid, like,
oh.
and everybody's like, you know Ron Jaworski? I'm like, I only met him once. Like,
Oh my gosh,
it's funny
that's
though.
funny, yeah.
I think it makes you more bold
Yeah.
doing this stuff. Like, I'm typically a very shy person,
Yeah.
and I don't like to go up to people I don't know. If I
Right.
know you, I'm fine.
Right.
But I have a shyness to me, and it's amazing how people respond to you that you would never expect to respond.
Yeah, you never know. You gotta step out of your comfort zone.
It's really
That's nothing
amazing
good.
how much it's made me even more confident. I guess,
It's
to
true.
step out of my comfort zone and call people.
That's that's all
Yeah.
it takes, right? You just gotta
Yeah.
keep showing up and push
Yeah.
yourself out of your comfort zone, and then you can, do different things and meet new people
Yeah,
that
it's
you
true.
maybe would have never talked to if you didn't.
That's
just
true, and
kinda
then you
step
never
out
know,
there.
they might have a connection for business, but it's even just to meet the people's great and
Yeah.
see these really cool places. It makes me fall in love with South Jersey all over again. And seeing these places I ride by all the time, and I never have time to stop.
That's so true.
And it's really interesting that it's like, wow, that is really cool, this area. You know, I
Yeah, you're
love
finding
it,
all
you
the
know?
hidden gems now,
Yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
really
And I've been
cool.
right next door. You know, they always say people who live near the Grand Canyon have never been there. There's something
Right.
like that. You know, it's
Yeah,
like all
totally.
these little things that are in South Jersey are so cute, you know,
Yeah.
and adorable. And it's mostly the mom and pop or the smaller things.
I love that. I feel like that's what makes the community. It makes the
Uh,
place so much better. It's
yeah.
all little small businesses and stuff. But,
Yeah. Was there anything you'd like to tell the audience about, or in closing, or?
In closing, I mean, I guess you guys can find me at trendingwithtori.com. My socials are trendingwithtori. Again, I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, all the things. But yeah, it's been great. Thanks so much for having me on
Oh,
your show.
thank you for
and
being here.
I feel
I
inspired by
appreciate
you, like all that you do. It's really cool. It really is.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate
Thank
you, and
you.
you're inspiring too.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay.